Hi, I'm Barbara McRae and welcome to Littleton Common. Can we start enjoying some warm weather now? I don't know about you, but I wore sweaters or a coat in May and part of June too. Of course, it could go to 90 or 100 the next couple of months, but who knows? That's New England, isn't it? I hope you got some of your plants at the Garden Club sale in May. The members on the Horticultural Committee did a great job and they pulled it together fabulously. And then the Garden Club members came together to make the sale a success. Everyone in the club digs up plants from their own gardens. If you're interested in joining the Littleton Country Gardeners, why don't you call Lynn Warren at 978-486-3648 and get some more information. And speaking of gardening, we need help sprucing up the courtyard and back of the Shattuck Street Town Office Building. When you're walking through it every day, it's a pleasure. But sometimes we get to see litter from the dumpsters or weeds that get ahead of us. So if you have time to spare and like gardening, or just like being outside, let us know and you've got the job. You'll earn an invite to our next year's volunteer luncheon. Our volunteer luncheon was a success. Shirley Catering came through again with a great meal, and the theme was young and bright. Sorry if you missed it, but like I said, volunteer and you'll get an invitation. I visited with Representative James Arciero this past month. Did you know that he comes to our senior center once a month to hear your voice? Where were you? I don't care if you voted for him or not. He is your rep now and trying to do his job. He can't do anything you want without your input. One voice is not enough. You're not too old, too quiet maybe, but not too old to voice an opinion. You talk to your friends or family, so why not where it counts? I've heard the question, what is being done for me? Ask Jim Arciero. Maybe he can carry it further. We are planning to have Representative Arciero on my July or August show. If you are too shy to talk to him in person, then call me at 263-7905 or tell me if you see me. I will relay your messages and questions. He also told me he will be planning some great programs that will be of interest to you and me. Look for them in the newsletter, and we will be announcing them right here. And he and Senator Eldridge are planning a barbecue here at the courtyard sometime in August, and I hope you'll come. We have to clean it up a little bit, but you be there. Meantime, you can visit with him in person when he comes to our Council on Aging, so look for those times in the newspaper. Don't forget to sign up for the Property Tax Work-Off Program. June is the month, no sooner, no later, and you have to do it in person. And if you don't sign up in June, you will have to wait until June of 2010. Get to the COA office Monday through Friday, 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. Also, more information will be brought to your attention on this subject because some changes have been made by the federal government. Natalie Hollowell is retiring as dispatcher for the Council on Aging office. Natalie was here for 6 years. Because Natalie is retiring, you'll be seeing a new face and hearing a new voice. That's when you call. So Carolyn Harlow is currently the main dispatcher, and we hope she'll be with us many years to come. So adieu, Natalie. Enjoy retirement, but come in and see us now and then. And how about that Living Alone group with Tina Mater? Well, they aren't alone anymore because once a month this group meets in room 230 at 10:30 in the morning. They might have a speaker or not, but they get a chance to compare notes and enjoy each other's company. This month, the meeting is on June 18th. Again, get up and get out. Tina also wanted me to mention the Catholic Heart Work Camp program. This camp came to Littleton last year to provide assistance to those in need of some general chores and light repairs. And that's to their home. This camp will be in Littleton again this year from July 5th to July 11th. Teenage volunteers provide excellent service for you and are supervised by adult volunteers. What a great way for teens to get involved and learn how to fix things. If you are interested in this program, please call the outreach office and talk to Tina. And that number is 486-0183. Right now, we will go to the senior diner and hear from Gail Dalton. Gail, how did your raffle for the basket go and who won?
Well, Barbara, we had a great turnout for the basket. I mean, as you can see, this gets filled up because whoever comes for the men's breakfast, the ladies' breakfast, the birthday lunch here every day, they sign. So some people's names are in here every day of the month. The basket winner was C.J. Nelson. He came to the men's breakfast once, and his name was Robin. So that's Pat Nelson's house for people who don't know who he is. So that was great. He came right down when we called him. He was very excited because he says he's never won anything. So that was great. And this month, on the 20th, for this month, not June, but for May, this is the basket that we have going for May. As you can see, we have a lot of people hoping that they win this basket of cookies. So that was great. But what else is happening for the month of June at the senior diner is the birthday lunch. For everybody who has a June birthday, please call me. Minuteman will pay for your meal. And the COA provides a beautiful birthday cake. That's going to be on June 10th, and we serve at noontime. The ladies' breakfast will be on June 11th. So come on down. And remember, every time you come in, you can sign up to win this bet. And you don't have to be here to win. Because that's why we have your phone numbers put down so I can call you the day that we make the drawing. And the men's breakfast will be June 17th. And the pizza party that we're doing now for the next basket for June to be drawn, we're going to have a pizza party. And it's going to be $5 donation. And that's going to be on June 26th. And then we'll draw another name for another basket. So we hope to see you guys down. And I know Minuteman will be doing a Father's Day special. I don't know the exact date on that, but it's usually the Thursday before Father's Day. I don't know what it will be, but once you get the menus come out in the broadcast, they'll have it. So I hope to see everybody in here. Sign up to win the basket.
Thanks, Gail. Did Gail mention Tamara Bedard will be at the diner to check your blood pressure on June 9th from 11 a.m. to noon? And on Thursday, June 25th, Neshoba Nurses and Littleton Council on Aging will have a blood pressure clinic and coffee hour at the Pine Tree Park Community Room from 9 in the morning until 10. So check that pressure, folks. The podiatry clinic will be held on June 2nd at the COA. The cost is $25 and the time will be 8:30 to 10:30 in the morning. Oops, I have something that just came in. This is a notice about a new program that just came in from Tina Mater. It's called A Matter of Balance. Do you have concerns about falling? Life Care Center of Neshoba Valley is a class that views, Life Care Center of Neshoba Valley has a class that views falls and fear of falling as controllable. Helps you change your environment to reduce fall risk factors and promotes exercise to increase strength and balance. If you're interested in joining this class, call Nancy LaRocque, Director of Nursing at the Life Care Center. The number is 978-486-3512. You know, falling does become a concern when we ourselves are missing a step now and then. So change how you feel about that and call Nancy today. If you're looking for something to do, why not try Indian Hill Music Center? Here's Evan Theovalakis to tell you what is going on there.
Thanks, Barbara. Lots going on here at Indian Hill Music School this month, including recitals going on most of the month. And this is recitals by our students of all different ages, different styles of music. And if you're interested in coming by to hear a free recital, your best bet is to call the music school, 486-9524, or check online, indianamusic.org, to see what the schedule is, because there are events going on at different days of the week and the weekends as well. So that's free recitals most of the month of June. And we've got the Jazz Jam coming in on June 5th, Friday night, June 5th at 7 p.m. This is where amateur jazz instrumentalists and vocalists are invited to an open jam session with our faculty and other students. And that's an event that's $5 per person here at Indiana Hill, June 5th, the Jazz Jam. For more information, check online or give us a call, 486-9524. Box Lunch Concert, our free faculty series. This month, it's a doubleheader, Thursday, June 18 and Friday, June 19. We've got Justin Meyer Swing Quintet. I think it's the quintet, either the quintet or the quartet. Justin Meyer, one of our favorites here, bringing a bunch of his friends to perform some swing and all kinds of songs that you'll really enjoy. So that's our free box lunch, June 18 and Friday, June 19 at noon. Okay, so two free concerts this month. Summer coming up. This is a great time to register for a lesson, try an instrument, try a new teacher, just try something new here in Indian Hill. July and August and part of June as well. We've got musical theater starting up for the kids ages 8 to 18, and that'll be The Wizard of Oz that they'll be producing. We've got programs for adults, programs for kids on instruments and voice and choruses, and all kinds of stuff going on. So again, check us out online, indianamusic.org or 486-9524 for more information on our summer programs. So here we are. Come on down and check us out here at Indian Hill Music.
Thank you, Eve. Come with the Explorers Club to the Concord Center Museum on Tuesday, June 30th. The exhibit is Setting the President's Table, American Presidents China. Entry fee is $8 per person, and after the exhibit, we'll go for lunch at the 99 restaurant in West Concord, and afterwards, we'll wander through the old Five and Dime. This time, the explorers were carpooling. Plan to meet at Shattuck Street and leave there at 10 in the morning. Call Barbara Camp for more information at 486-4360. The next Council on Aging day trip is to Fuller Gardens, Northampton, New Hampshire. That will be on Tuesday, June 16th. The cost is $57 per person. You leave Shattuck Street at 9:45 and return at 5 p.m. Pig's Fly Bakery in Kittery, Maine is the first stop, where you can see 25 varieties of bread made from scratch every day. Lunch will be at the Warren's Restaurant, and after lunch, it's off to Fuller Gardens for a beautiful variety of gardens. Make your reservations with Mary Eichler at 486-0725. On Friday, July 10th, it's off to see the Tall Ships in Boston. This will cost $65 per person, and you have to call by June 5th. This might be a little late, but call anyway. So hurry, get on the phone and call Mary Eichler at 486-0725. And if you haven't seen these ships, then do it now. There will be a narrated 90-minute harbor cruise. This is a great day, so call now. And June 2nd at 9:30, the second grade will present a concert and tea party for the seniors. A school bus will be available at 9 o'clock to take you from the Council on Aging on Shattuck Street to Shaker Lane School. Call Carla Smith at 486-3310 to let her know you're coming. And let's fill that bus. You won't want to miss seeing these children perform. They have been practicing so hard. Right now, let's go to the New England Forestry Foundation and Lynn Lyford.
Thank you, Barbara. With the good weather here, activities at Priority Woods and around Neff Forest are taking off. And I'm going to tell you about some of those coming up in June. First, on Saturday, June 13, we have the New England Forestry Annual Meeting. It's going to be in Groton. We have planned walks at our 2 Groton forests and canoeing down the Nashua River. There's also a luncheon with a speaker. Our speaker is Richard Donovan, who is absolutely captivating. Is going to talk about forests and world forests. Anyone is invited to attend, so please join us and check our website for details. The following Saturday, June 20th, we have a Community Forest Discovery Day walk. We have these throughout the spring, summer, and fall. This one on the 20th takes place in Royalston, Mass. That's near Athol and Orange. And the topic is discovering wildlife, plant life, and the rich cultural history of our forest in Royalston. And then the following Saturday, on June 27th, right here at our Prouty Woods headquarters in Littleton, we have a discovery walk, which is going to be talking about the historical changes in the landscape at Prouty Woods and also Littleton in general. All these events are available to the general public. They are advertised on the NEF website at www.newenglandforestry.org. Please check the website, give us a call. We'd love to have you join us for these programs. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Lynn. You know, last month the explorers went to the Tower Hill Botanical Gardens in Boylston, and there were 10 of you that went, and while you were there, guess who you ran into? The Littleton Country Gardeners, because they were there having their annual luncheon and elections for new board. But anyway, it was fun for all. It was fun seeing each other, and it goes to show you that the explorers go to some neat places, and so do the Littleton Country Gardeners. Why don't you think about joining both? The thrift shop continues to raise funds for our outreach and senior programs. The summer clothes have been selling and new donations coming in every day. We have a sample of what you might find here in our shop, right here. The fun of coming to a thrift shop is the surprise of what you might find. You can go to any store and see the same thing, rack after rack. But in a thrift shop, you use your imagination and mix and match vintage, mod, and classic. Why don't you use your imagination? Come in and look around, and if you can't visualize, let us do it for you. It's just plain fun, and you'll look great as a bonus. And plus, the price is right. Anyone wishing to knit lap blankets for hospice care, please. You can crochet or knit, but they want happy colors. We have yarn that has been donated just for that reason, and we are saving it at the thrift shop just for you. Please call Peg Gruskowski at 486-4620 and volunteer. The Littleton Electric Light Department has an appliance rebate program available to customers who need to purchase a new refrigerator, clothes dryer, or air conditioner. If your appliance has an Energy Star rated, send in the rebate application form and LELD will credit your account for the amount of the rebate. Go to this website, energystar.gov, to see the list of qualifying appliance models. The current rebate is for $50 per appliance and a maximum benefit of $150. The Littleton Light Department reserves the right to inspect the installation premises, though. So call Kevin Goddard at the Light Department for further information. The number is 978-486-3104. And I think you should take advantage of this. It sounds good to me. Did you go to the parade? As usual, our veterans agent and all who helped did a great job. And of course, I'm prejudiced. We're going to leave you now with highlights of the Memorial Day Parade. But stay tuned for our guest this month. years ago, I stressed the tendons in my wrists while moving a heavy object. Instead of getting help for the problem, I lived with the pain and the aggravation. Recently, I gave up and I went for wrist therapy. Here with me today is Robin Sklar, and Robin is a registered, licensed occupational therapist as well as certified hand therapist at Emerson Rehabilitation Center in Concord. She gave my wrists and arms the treatment they needed, and now, without pain, I think I will make Robin my very newest best friend. Thanks for being here, Robin.
Thank you for inviting me.
And you know, I wanted to do this show because you know, I did suffer with this pain for so long. I was dumb. I was really dumb. People were saying, why don't you go in? I've gone for therapy, it's really great. And I'm going, I don't need it. So I let it go. And then finally decided, you know, what am I doing? Why don't I go in and find out what they're going to do to me? And so...
Well, you know, a lot of people wait. And of course, the longer you wait, the harder it is to get better quicker because you've had the symptoms longer. And a lot of people are scared because they don't know how long it's going to take to get better, if they're even going to get better, and what do they need to do in order to get better. And so working with a therapist, you can learn all those things and get yourself better, but also learn those new techniques, so hopefully you'll never have that problem again. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of education goes into what needs to happen and what the patient needs to do, or what you needed to do in order to get rid of your pain.
Mm-hmm. I guess I kind of thought, you know, what could they possibly do? I stretched the tendons, they can't do anything for me, this will work itself out. So I think that's why I took my time too.
Well, there's a lot of different things. What we have to do is first we find out how you got injured, and then we can figure out what you brought in a note from the doctor because you'd seen the doctor, so he had diagnosed you, and then we go ahead and do an evaluation to figure out how your pain sort of comes about, what you did, what you do now that causes pain. Does it hurt to open a door? Does it hurt to bathe and dress? Does it hurt to comb your hair, brush your teeth, blow dry your hair? How do you have that pain? We take a look at all that stuff and where your symptoms, what your symptoms are. Are they pain? Are they numbness? Is it a fatigue? And then we take all this information and give you a home exercise program, because coming to see me once or twice a week or 3 times a week, I can't make you better alone. It's really a team approach, mm-hmm. where you and I have to work together to come up with a program that I deem will get you better, that you can buy in, that you will do to get better. Mm-hmm. And by working together with a home exercise program and then doing certain exercises in the clinic with me, we're able to progress your program, get you better, and get you back to doing everything you like to do and want to do, and even those things you don't want to do but have to do, pain-free.
Well, I think what got me going and thinking that I needed to come was the fact that I had turned a doorknob, and I think I jumped 6 feet, because just making that, notice how I'm doing it now, making that turn really shot pain through the wrist and up my arm. Now, some people were asking me, do you have carpal tunnel? I knew I didn't really have that. I remembered what I had done, and that was carry this very large object. But, and also my pain didn't seem in the area that everyone, they just knew I had carpal tunnel. But I guess I also thought that tendons don't heal by therapy.
Well, everything can heal. Most things can heal with therapy. I mean, there are times we can't cure everything, but we're really pretty good, all the therapists at Emerson. And the thing is as soon as you say you have hand pain or arm pain, everybody always assumes that it's carpal. Oh, you got carpal tunnel. Oh, I know somebody who has carpal tunnel and they're not getting anybody. Oh, they had surgery and it didn't work.
Right.
So you hear that whole thing and it sort of scares you from trying to pursue this, because you don't want to go down that road if you don't have to.
Right.
And so what, you know, just as a general education, most people with carpal tunnel syndrome, they'll have more symptoms of it's a nerve injury versus a tendon injury or a muscle injury.
Oh, okay.
And so what you'll have is injuries with you'll have tingling and numbness in your hand. You'll eventually have pain and some weakness, but it normally starts with tingling and numbness in your hand.
Okay.
That's not to say every patient with tingling and numbness is carpal tunnel, but that is one of the one of the symptoms of it. But in terms of when you have a lot of pain, it tends to be either a joint or a muscle injury, and then we have to figure out where it's coming from. A lot of times when you've seen doctors, some people will come in and have had x-rays and they know it's not the joint. And so that helps us narrow it down. And then in terms of just working and exercising and giving the right program to help get you better. And a lot of people will come in and they say, well, I feel weak. And weakness is not the first thing I like to work on. I like to work on getting you more flexible, getting you to use your hand more. Because if we can get you to use your hands more, the strength will come back because you're using them. And everything you do requires hand strength.
Yeah, don't I know. Especially the things that I like to do.
That's right. Everything you do will require your hand strength. Grabbing a hammer, moving furniture, whatever you have to do. And if you hurt, you feel like you're weak. But that's not really what you are. You could be weak, but what it is the pain is stopping you from doing things.
Did you kind of guess that I didn't have carpal tunnel when I came to you?
None of your symptoms went that way. I mean, in terms of you didn't have tingling and numbness, it wasn't waking you up in the middle of the night. The trauma that you did that you believe caused the pain would be more of an overuse, a strain, or a stress. And so it sort of took me away from that. And then there are certain tests we can do in the clinic to sort of see what symptoms you have and sort of recreate those. Once we can recreate it, it makes it much easier to say, it is carpal tunnel, or isn't. Even though by law we're not allowed to diagnose, because that's the doctor's role. We work together with the doctors in terms of treating and working together.
Yeah, she just felt that after telling my story, I guess you can kind of guess that, okay, you stretched it out a little much there. And you then started to do the... it's funny because you reminded me of my grandmother, because when we were sick or something was wrong, this is where she would rub. And this is where you found that I had knotted, stress, I guess, and worked on that.
What happens is a lot of people find that they have pain in their wrist. And it's at the wrist because the motions you do at the wrist cause the pain. But muscles, we have basically two major types of muscles. We have muscles that start in the hand and end in the hand, and muscles that start outside the hand and end in the hand. So if you're using your hand and moving your wrist, most likely it's the muscles that start outside, we call them the extrinsics, that go right over the wrist and help you move your hand. You've got your finger flexors, or the ones that bend, come from this side, and the extensors come back here. And a lot of times what happens is with those gripping and the repetitiveness of going up and down, it's these muscles on the forearm that go right down through the wrist, that every time you move the wrist, which is how you feel you have pain, hurt. And so what we have to do is take care of the whole arm, the forearm, because this is where the muscles are that become tendons. And
wow. Well, you made me do stretching too, by over the head kind of...
the pulleys.
The pulleys. And that was funny because that helped a shoulder pain that I had that I hadn't said anything about. I mean, I didn't have pain there. I probably had heard it a very long time ago, and when I started the pulley, I remember telling you that, oh gosh, I can't do it with this one as well, and this one is okay. But after all the therapy for the wrists and the pulley, I'm fine.
Well, what tends to happen is when people have hand injuries, what they do is they tend not to use their hand and really go ahead and lift up high and reach up. And so they tend to keep things closer because they don't have that strength to go down and pick up that box and reach over. And so their shoulders can sometimes get really stiff. And the other thing that happens is we're a society where we do everything close to us. You know, if we're at the computer, we're like this. If we're driving, we're like this. Very poor ergonomic positions. We really need to open ourselves up, get ourselves broader, stretch ourselves up. And so by putting you in the pulleys, what we're doing is we're stretching ourselves up and opening up our chest area for better ergonomics. And then we can go ahead and use our bodies better. Better ergonomics, healthier position, healthier lifestyle.
Well, it makes me want to stand straighter.
Yes.
And you did give me the door exercise that I could pull back and strengthen.
You know, it's you can't just say, fix my hand. It's attached to your body. The old song, the hip bone's connected to the knee bone. Everything's connected. And so if you're having a problem down here, chances are it's going to make you all a little sore. And sometimes if you have a shoulder problem, what it does is makes your hand a little weaker because you're not using it as much. And so you really have to sort of look at everything and how you use your body and how you move in order to make yourself healthy and pain-free.
Yep, lift from the knees and all that stuff. But, well, see, I enjoy labor, I guess, you know. My husband's the brains and I'm the laborer. And I like building, and I like using my hands and my arms, and my back gets a lot of stress because of things that I lift and everything. And I was probably not facing the fact that I needed to get this repaired because I thought I wouldn't be able to do anything anymore. And I'm feeling so much better. You know, this is why I wanted to have you on the show, because I wanted people to not be as dumb as I was about, you know, taking care of it right away.
Well, you weren't dumb. What happened is you didn't know. You were uneducated. You didn't know what services are out there. You didn't know how it was going to help you get better. You didn't even know if you could get better. And you were afraid you may not be able to get better, and then you were also afraid somebody was going to tell you you can't do that anymore.
Right.
And you know, that's a hard pill to swallow, to say, okay, you know what? You can't build anymore because you're going to hurt yourself. And our role as therapists is to say, okay, what can we do to help you so you can still go ahead and do that, given your physical limitations, if you have one?
Yeah. I noticed that you did not say to me, you can't do that anymore. Do not go back there and do this. Do not go back and use your drills and your hammers and lift things. You said, okay, Barbara, this is the way you're supposed to do it. And if you're going to do it, you need to hold it this way or do that. And I was appreciative of that because I was worried.
Well, ergonomics is really important. You know, it became a really big word with computers and how computers are set up and where you set it up and where the keyboard is and where the mouse and how your chair is. But it really plays a role in everything you do. How you know, the holidays are coming up. A lot of people are cooking. There's a lot of standing. What are the ergonomics in order for you to go ahead and stand and cook all day without killing your back and your feet and your knees? You know, there are ways to stand. So what you really need to do is say, okay, if you're going to do this, what can we do and how can you do it so that you can still be successful? And you know, how to lift a baby, how to change a diaper, how to cook, how to draw, how to drive. Everything has a right way and a good posture or better posture, and one that will cause pain. And you just have to sort of educate. It's huge amount of education, and that's my role, is to say, you hurt, you may do this again and you may hurt again. So what can you do in the future if you hurt to either make sure you don't get as worse as you were, and to prevent you from getting injured again, depending on what you're going to do.
You can imagine.
So,
well, okay. So now that I feel better, I'm not going to say that I would be perfect. I feel good again, though. You know, but should I wear, or anyone who does, you know, have the wrist problem, should they wear something when they're lifting, or, you know, like a wristband or a band on their hand or anything? Does that matter?
Not necessarily. It depends on what your injury is, and depends on, you know, there are some people who say they broke their wrist. So they may have a splint custom made or one off the shelf, in order to give them a little bit more support until they're able to use their hand and they have their strength back. And then there are some people who play tennis or golf, we have golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. And sometimes we have patients wear bands to help them sort of, when it reminds them that they have an injury, it reminds them to stretch, but it also gives them some support. But do I typically have people use splints every day, all day long, because they had a tendinitis? No, because I need them to figure out how to do things without the support. At times they may need it, but at times, if you're going to take down this whole set, I'm going to say, well, you're going to do a lot of work, so what do you need to do to make it successful? You're going to do your stretches. You're going to ice, because you may swell up. You're going to ice afterwards, calm yourself down. Are you going to do it all in 2 hours, or are you going to take a time, take some breaks in between? The important thing is to figure out how to do it all within your abilities. But splinting or bracing, I typically don't like. There are times and appropriate times for it and places. Yeah. But with something like you, I tend not to do it. I want you to use your arms, and I want you to stretch and maintain your flexibility.
So you'd probably get dependent on it too, then.
You can. It's like a crutch. You walk around and you break your ankle and you're on crutches, and then they say, okay, get rid of it, and you're afraid to walk on your foot, so you keep on using the crutches. It's not helping your foot get better. Right. So it's sort of taking away that crutch and figuring out how to work.
Well, you mentioned ice.
Yes.
That surprised me when I came there and you said, well, then use ice. If it feels like it's going to hurt, use ice. And I thought, that's interesting, because so many times I hear people say, oh, I used a heating pad, I used heat, I used, Ben Gay. It was my favorite. I'm in love with Ben here, Ben Gay.
If you can handle the smell. I use when my patients come in to see me, what I typically do is I start with some sort of heat. It could be a whirlpool, it can be a hot pack, it could be paraffin. And what I want to do is I want to heat up everything and get it a little bit more flexible, because that makes my job a little easier and a little less painful for the patient, because they're a more relaxed, a more flexible joint. But after you exercise, the problem with heat is that heat inflames. It increases blood flow, and it can cause some swelling. So as a regular way to do things, if you're really stiff or sore, you went out and you shoveled and you're really sore and you're achy and you want to just relax your muscles a little bit, you can ice. People say you take the hot shower. But what I like is when somebody's really overdone it, I say, you got to calm it. You got to take away the blood flow. You ice it. If anybody sees any pitcher, major league pitcher, they've come out of the game, what do you see? A bag of ice on their shoulder. And what they're doing is a preventative treatment. They're calming down the area that got overused. And so what you want to do is calm down any area that's overused. An acute injury, they always tell you to ice. If you go to the emergency room, you twist your ankle, put ice on it. And then after a few days, when you're stiff, then you can say, okay, I need some heat to kind of limber me up a little bit.
Okay.
But ice takes away the swelling. It's a wonderful, ice is nice is one of my favorite sayings.
Probably everyone else knew about it, but I truly didn't. I was surprised, and I thought I never would have gone to ice. I guess I would have gotten my little heating pad, and like I said, my Ben Gay, and anything that was hot shower, but I wouldn't have gone to ice.
Well, I love it when patients say, I don't like ice, and I said, well, you really should give it a try. And then from that point on, probably 90% will stick with ice. Sometimes if you got really bad arthritis, the ice just doesn't work. Yeah. But with a lot of things, when it's a muscle injury or a tendon, the ice is a wonderful way to calm it down. Especially what I tell patients, they've gone back to work, they're using their arm. Take an ice pack out at lunchtime and calm down the area. It really works wonderful, and it gets you over that hump.
Well, I'm going to remember that. That's for sure. I mean, if hopefully I'm not going to go stretching anything and hurting anything, not on purpose.
Well, no,
I knew what I was doing. I mean, it was a big mistake, but And also, I guess the tendons and the bones are a little bit older too.
Just a little bit. But you know good ergonomics. I mean, now you'll pay attention because of the education. I mean, we were discussing earlier, you know, how you can how you can move things through little discs on the floor or getting trolleys to help you move things so less stressful on the body, and not telling you not to do it. I don't think
I like that part.
Well, you know what? It's important. If I take that away from you, you're not going to be a happy person.
No.
And we need you to be a happy person. You won't be
and a busy person. That's what I like. But yeah, and you know, I didn't mind the exercises either. I just want people to understand that they do something like this. Don't be afraid. You know. Check with your doctor, and then if they say go to a therapist, go to the therapist and do what she says, and you know, take care of it, because first of all, another thing I'm sure what bothered me was that I had to take an hour out of my day, which I felt like, oh Lord, I have to go an hour someplace else and do something else. But it was worth it. After I started, I did look forward to it, because I wanted to feel better. And you weren't doing anything that was making me leave there and go, oh my God, I hate this, you know. And so people have to understand that too. If something happens, do what they say. Keep the exercises going at home, and make yourself better. Don't let it go.
Absolutely. What you really need to do is get into a routine. I mean, the exercises I gave you, the stretches, really are forever. And the reason I say they're forever is because you're an active individual, and you're always going to do something, we'll call it not
dumb.
Smart.
You can say it. You can say it.
You do something stupid. We all do something stupid. We twist the wrong way, we do something stupid. But if we give you the information to always be able to manage that symptoms, oh, you know, I got that twinges back, but I'm always doing my stretches, then we're able to handle what we need to do and be able to continue enjoying the life as we see it.
Right. Well, I appreciate it, that's for sure. And you know, I'm thinking of people that sometimes have a leg problem or a hip problem or an arm problem, and it hurts when they go for their, you know, exercises, so they do kind of quit, and then all of a sudden they're using their arm the wrong way, or they're limping, and they probably could do better. I
think all the therapists that I work with at Emerson, the OTs and the PTs, I think what we do is we like to hear what the patients have to say. And then we can work with the patients. You know, sometimes what happens is they don't tell us everything because they did something they weren't supposed to do. And you know what? As long as you tell us, then we can work with you. And working with you as a team will get you better.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that comes up periodically is when we do our evaluation, we often inflict more pain because we're trying to figure out what's going on, and we have to do a lot of hands-on and a lot of touching and figuring out where the problem is, and so sometimes that can end up causing more pain in the long run. And then they call up and they say, well, I'm not coming in, I hurt. And we immediately get on the phone and say, no, you need to come in, because it's at that time we need to say, okay, where's the pain? And then it gives us more information to work with you to help you get better. To say I'm in too much pain is not a good reason. It happens every once in a while. You overdo it, you think somebody's doing better, or something in addition to what we did in the clinic pushed them over the edge, broke the straw that broke the camel's back, and caused more pain. And what we do is, as therapists, we work together with the patient as a team to give a program that they'll be successful in completing that will help them get pain-free.
Well, if they have more pain, they're probably thinking it was the therapy, that, oh, I shouldn't be doing this because, you know, it hurt, and I'm better off if I just sit here, you know, and it doesn't hurt now. But you're right, they need to maybe push it a little bit more. It's hard for some people, though. It
is hard, but that's where you talk to your therapist that says, did I overdid it? Is there something else that we're missing? But it gives us a whole lot more information to treat you better. And the more information we have about what you did, how you did it, why you did what you did, you're going to do it more often, is this part of your natural life? Then we can go ahead and say, Okay, I'll never forget. I had a patient who was 80-something, a little nice lady who was 80-something years old, and she says, "My thumb hurts." And I go, "Your thumb hurts?" "Well, you know, you're 80 years old. You've got a little arthritis in your thumb." She says, "I know." I says, "So what did you do?" She says, "Well, I'm making a quilt, and I cut, 100 squares with a little pizza cutter." I said, "Well, that may be overdoing it. So now what are we going to do so you can still cut your squares and you can still quilt without doing it for 4 hours straight and causing pain on your thumbs?" So it's working together, knowing what caused it and how to help them feel better.
Yeah. Well, made me feel better.
Well, that's good. That's our goal.
I'm still talking to you.
And you're still willing to come in.
Yes. And I guess I'm through, though.
Well, you are, as long as
I can dry my hair now, and
as long as you can do what you need to do and know what you need to do if something flares up.
Yeah.
Then that's our goal.
Well, I am glad that you came on the show, and hopefully somebody, will get something out of it and say, okay, I'll go in, I'll do what I have to do, and also do what they have to do at home. That's what's important. Well, thank you, Robin, for coming today. We do want to add one more thing, though, that you do need a prescription from your doctor to go see the therapist, so make sure you do that. But don't be like me. Get in for help. Go to a professional. Believe me, it's worth getting therapy. See you next month, but in the meantime, don't forget to hug a senior.